And let's freaking do this thing. Starting now. Hello and
What?
welcome.
What?
What?
Who's that voice?
Sorry. All right, let's.
I threw you off. See, you're
You
not
threw.
used to
I'm
this.
not used to it. All right, let's try this again. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Making the Call. I am back from
Woo.
my 2 week long, you know,
Adventures abroad.
gallivanting across Europe. Big shout out to Alex
Making
and
fashion statements and everything.
I'm kind of glad it's just you on the podcast because I feel
Yeah,
like some of my other
yeah.
co-hosts might be a little more harsh on what you're referring to.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't even really notice anything wrong with this shirt, to be honest, until they started roasting it. So I'm on your side.
that's that. Thank you, Alex. That's because there was nothing wrong with the shirt. Absolutely
Nah,
nothing.
vacation shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, if you're following my lovely wife on Instagram, you probably saw some pictures posted. But I was wearing a shirt on our trip to Italy. That was like a very like Italian European summer shirt. Basically, just kind of like um, a polo, like
Yeah.
a short sleeve polo without any buttons. Um, and Trent and Austin had a big problem with it. Big problem with it. Um, but
Now
they're not
saying
here tonight to
haters.
roast me about it. Yeah, just a bunch of haters because I don't know if they could pull off that shirt. Ouch! Did
Go.
I say that? Oh, ooh,
Ooh.
man. But
Too
I'm
bad they
back.
can't defend themselves. That sucks.
Oh, poor them. Uh, I'm back. Big props. Big shout out to Alex and Austin and Rosie and special guest with Rosie, Davey Downey for holding down the fort these past 2 weeks. I loved listening to those podcasts on vacation and just I felt like I was still kind of keeping up with the Making the Call crew and what's going on. So really happy to be back. It'll be Alex and I this week. We will do our one big headline. We will be talking about the Mavs, who are now down 0-3 in the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. We've got
Yeah.
lots of thoughts
Yep.
to get
Yep.
to, and then on a more fun, lighter note, Alex and I are just going to run through a bunch of different sports stories and topics here at the end. We've got some written down. I'm sure there's going to be some others that we want to hit on that are not on the docket. But that's the plan. That's the show this week. So
All
before we
right.
get into the one big headline, make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're, especially if you have Spotify, be listening on Spotify because we do have the beautiful video podcasts that are posted exclusively to Spotify. We do live stream
Yeah.
on the Making the Call
Yeah.
YouTube. So if you
Well,
want to
just
tune
like
in,
Joe Rogan. Just
eh,
like Joe Rogan.
just like Joe Rogan, people always like when they're categorizing their podcast, like
They
us and
say,
Joe Rogan are always in the
yeah,
same group.
we're right there. We're right there.
We're right there. We're very similar podcast, similar guest, talking points, all
I
that
wish.
stuff. Yeah. He has a Jamie, we have a Craig. The similarities are
Ah,
uncanny.
need a better.
Um,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Craig. But make sure to subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the Making the Call Substack, just everything. We've got links to it all in the episode description of this podcast. Also, hit us with a 5-star rating. Hit us with the thumbs up on Spotify. Whatever is like the good review on whatever your preferred listening platform. Give us that. That
Yeah.
that helps us out a lot. All right,
Takes
Alex.
2 seconds.
Takes two
Yeah. Yeah.
seconds. Yeah, absolutely. And you wouldn't be listening to us if you didn't love us. So here you are. Um, one big headline, Alex. What you got for us this week?
The lads redeemed themselves last night. USMT played the big boys, Brazil, and they were playing their big boys because they played their B team on Saturday. So this is all just a tune up for the Copa America coming up in a couple weeks. But it was just nice. We didn't win, by the way. It was 1-1 soccer. Shout out. But
Love
we
a tie.
we did have the better chances if you watch the game. Like if you just look at the stats sheet, you'll see like Brazil had 60% of the possessions, more shots on goal, and just more shots overall. And you're like, all right, they sort of dominated us, but we got one lucky shot. Now I'd say we had the better like we counted on the transitions, had the more open looks, I'd say, and they just had the more like volume of looks. But overall, it was another good look because we got sort of trounced last Saturday 5-1 against Colombia, but Brazil is a better team than them, so take that with a grain of salt. They're both friendlies, but we're moving on to the Copas, kicking off in Arlington. Actually, I think this up not this Sunday, but the next Sunday. So that'll be
Okay.
fun. It's going to be a lot of soccer this summer because we also got the Euros starting Friday. So
Yes.
get
Yeah,
ready for
that's
some
right.
soccer talk.
What are
Soccer
your
picks,
expectations for
over
Copa
unders of
America?
2.5. Well, like floor, they got to get out of the group, and then it'd be nice to make the semis. We always make the quarters, like which is the first round out of the group and lose. It'd be nice to win a game out of the group. So just make the final four.
Make the Final Four. Okay. Got it.
But at the same time, I sort of want them to do bad because the coach sucks and he needs to get out of here before 2026. So it's like a rock and a hard place. It's tough.
Are you not a fan of Greg? You don't like him?
No, not really. The bald-headed terrorist, soccer terrorist.
I have seen. There are like recurring memes and bits on the internet that sometimes they're like overdone, but then sometimes they're just perfect, and it's like I'm gonna laugh every time I see it. And the one that always gets me is where it's like the biggest threats to U.S. democracy is, and it's from like a MSNBC or whatever, and it'll be like Kim Jong Un. This is from like a long time ago, and it'll have Osama bin Laden, and then people will Photoshop people, and I saw one where it was Greg, and I was like, ah, this is so good, so
Yeah,
funny,
yeah.
so good.
41% Greg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his thing is just all the players sort of carry him, and he's just not good at in-game adjustments. So like if a team has this figured out, we're sort of just like, well, keep trying it, see if it works.
yeah.
Just keep, yeah.
Okay. And you said Copa America is here starting here soon.
Yeah, the first game is at Arlington, but like it's all over the United States.
Okay, got it. Cool. Well, my one big headline. Really, I just wanted to give like a quick like summary of
Italy,
the Italy
yeah.
trip. Um,
Tell us about the food.
oh, the food, man.
The
It
food.
was incredible. So we were there for I think including the travel days, it was 16 days. So we were there on the
Wow.
boots on the ground for 2 weeks. And we
Nice.
started in Rome, which
Okay.
anyone, if you're planning like an Italy trip,
You
go ahead.
you obviously saw the Colosseum, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think I've
So
seen many of the pictures. I'm not on Instagram much.
okay, I can send you some. But yeah, we saw the Colosseum, and we had heard from some people who have been to Italy that they said like, hey,